Chief guest for the day, Mr. Mohiuddin Mohammad Ali, Vice Chairman of Gulfar Engineering and Contracting and member of the Board of Directors to the National University of Science and Technology. Guest of honor and keynote speaker, Dr. Baby Sam Samuel, former Chairman of the Board of Directors to Indian Schools in Oman. Mr. Ahmed Rais, President, Indian School Al Gubra and Chairman of E.A.MUNC Model United Nations Conference. Mrs. Papri Ghosh, Principal, Indian School Al Gubra. Mr. G. Srikumar, Vice Principal, ISG. Mrs. Pyaraja Sidar, Vice Principal, ISG International. Faculty advisors of the 32 schools spread across 5 countries. E.A.MUNC Model United Nations Conference team at Indian School Al Gubra and esteemed delegates. Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to the second virtual E.A.MUNC Model United Nations Conference 2021. I, Kshama Sushil Kumar Mumbai, the head girl of this school and Director General for the conference, am delighted to host the opening ceremony. We begin with the opening remarks from the Secretary General, Aditya Sharma.
The United Nations was not created to take mankind to paradise, but rather save humanity from hell. Greetings, one and all. I, Aditya Sharma, am honored to serve as the Secretary General for the second virtual session of E.A.MUNC Model United Nations Conference. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome everybody present here to this conference. Our research on the many challenges facing the world today seems to point to the fact that the world is in a never-ending crisis. We, humans, have always shown the ability and the willingness to cooperate when faced with insurmountable hurdles. Thus, the theme of this conference, Unbreakable Unity Through Crisis. It is no secret that the world is tormented by disputes from all corners. It is only our unity and the shared goal to find solutions which will show us the way out of crisis. The human race is facing an existential crisis with wave upon wave of COVID-19 ravaging our economies and our health systems. The fear we feel should impel us to work with urgency and unity so that we can vanquish this microscopic enemy. To quote John F. Kennedy, when crisis is written in Chinese, it means 2 things. One, representing danger, and the other, representing opportunity. From solving the Libyan war to combating the novel coronavirus that darkens our present times, the most powerful weapon that humanity has is unity of purpose. In times of distress, it is imperative for humanity to re-examine their values to overcome the hurdles that stand in the way of a solution. E.A.MUNC provides a platform to ignite this spirit of unity and brotherhood. To everyone present here, we at E.A.MUNC value consensus over majority, structured debate over heated debate, and quality over quantity. I would like to encourage all delegates to lead the committee with the representative of every nation state feeling valued for his or her contribution. Over the course of 3 days, we wish to spread hope and optimism as the representatives of the nation states suggest and adopt measures that will bring peace, prosperity, and harmony to our world. I urge all delegates to showcase their true spirit of diplomacy and debate for what benefits us all as a world. In the words of Amit Rai, in every crisis, doubt, or confusion, take the higher path, the path of compassion, courage, understanding, and love. With this, I hope each of you will make not just friends and memories, but also a team that will work towards building a better and brighter future. Thank you. Wishing you all the best for your committee sessions.
Thank you, Aditya. Unity and brotherhood are indeed the pillars of E.A.MUNC. We will now watch a video address by the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres.
The world continues to face the all-encompassing COVID-19 pandemic, a health crisis, economic disaster, and human rights emergency rolled into one unprecedented challenge. We also confront a planetary emergency, including accelerating climate change, growing pollution, and collapsing biodiversity, threatening the environment on which everyone's future depends. And we are witnessing an alarming spread of hatred and discrimination. In these trying times, I welcome your engagement in the Model United Nations. Young people today are spearheading movements for climate action, racial justice, gender equality, and so much more. You are connecting online and in the streets, showing the power of collective action. The pandemic has created a moment for change. Recovery is our chance to shape a better future, and the Sustainable Development Goals are our roadmap. The United Nations is committed to being your ally as we push to build a more sustainable and equitable world for people today and for generations to come. Thank you for your belief in the power of dialogue and cooperation to meet the tests of our time. I wish you a successful Model UN.
The Secretary General has aptly highlighted that the Sustainable Development Goals is the blueprint for achieving the dignity, peace, and prosperity of mankind. We are honored to have as our chief guest Mr. Mohiuddin Mohammed Ali, a civil engineering graduate from Carnegie Mellon University. He is the vice chairman of Gulfar Engineering and Contracting and is on the board of directors and board of trustees for the National University of Science and Technology, a multidisciplinary university in Oman. He also serves as the vice chairman of PMA International and MFAR Group of Companies. He is the chairman and managing director of Alpha Fishco LLC, a fisheries sector investment venture. He is a member of the board of directors in various private and government sector companies. May I request the chief guest to kindly address the audience?
Good afternoon, and thank you, Shama. I hope you and your families are all in safety and good health, first of all. Today, I have the privilege and honor to address the 350 delegates and participants from 32 schools, 5 countries, and I think 3 continents. And the delegates that will take part in the 6th edition of the E.A.MUN. I'm sure all of you are excited to be part of this conference, and each of you will benefit from the experience of dialogue, debate, and diplomacy. There are 5 diverse committees that each of you have been placed in with very interesting topics. And before you begin today, I would like each of you to take a moment to appreciate and be grateful for the privileged position that we are all in. For the last 1.5 years, we have seen the disruption, the loss, the chaos caused by COVID-19. Each of us has personally or knows someone who has lost a loved one to the pandemic. What I choose, however, to focus on today is to see the situation from an optimistic lens. Humanity has come together to help each other, and we have witnessed what is possible when people work together towards a common goal. A vaccine was developed in record time and manufactured and distributed at a scale and speed which will be celebrated and studied for years to come. As a member of the Generation Z, you have great challenges ahead, and the committees you have been placed in and the topics you will discuss is a reflection of just that. The UN SDG, the 17 goals set out by the UN for a better world, yes, they are ambitious, and we have a ways to go towards achieving all of them as a global community. However, it is not impossible. What we have learned is that we have the capability and the resources to address each of these issues. What we need is a willingness of leaders to work beyond their differences and build a collaborative and cooperative diplomacy through dialogue and action. Your generation have a voice, and you must make every effort to be heard and win the hearts and minds of those that can make an impact at a policy level. I want to share a poem that is close to me and I hope will inspire you. This is a few words by Rumi. Raise your words, not your voice. It is rain that grows flowers, not thunder. Now, these are the very qualities and characteristic traits that Mr. E.A.MUNC, who this conference is named after and in honor of, imbibed in every aspect of his life. To start with a noble purpose to serve the people of his constituency, state, and country with integrity. He served the people that needed it the most with a collaborative, cooperative diplomacy through dialogue and action. May his soul rest in peace and his legacy live on. I wish each and every one of you all the best over the next 3 days. I want you to take this opportunity to debate, collaborate, cooperate, and see what is possible through diplomacy and action. Most importantly, start with a noble purpose and win the hearts and minds of your fellow delegates, because together you can achieve, through unbreakable unity, wonders. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Your esteemed presence on this occasion and Thank you, sir. Your esteemed presence on this occasion and your motivating words will be cherished by us. We do hope that you are the leaders who achieve the SDGs for a brighter tomorrow. Next, we have a video depicting the true spirit of the E.A.MUNC Model United Nations Conference, as well as our purpose and vision.
By making it a habit to help others and proving that you have good intentions, it will build your credibility, and credibility is the cornerstone of any successful coalition.
പ്രോഗ്രാം കാണുവാൻ അതിഥിയായി ഞാൻ വന്നു. CSMൻ്റെ ഒരു കുട്ടിയും ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. വളരെ നല്ല നിലയിൽ എല്ലാ കുട്ടികളും പെർഫോം ചെയ്തു.
His departure, his demise was a great loss to me personally and to our family. One thing Mr. Ahmed Saab was very focused or very particular about, whenever there is an injustice is seen, he will fight with the tooth and nails. And that should be the motto of each and one of you delegates.
I requested my dear friend E.A.MUNC to conduct this next seminar in Calicut.
There is a serious requirement of democratizing United Nations.
I have never seen a politician who can be so cordial, so open, so transparent, and so sincere as E.A.MUNC.
The Palestinian ambassador came all the way from Delhi to Kannur and has signed the book.
ഇത് ഫാന്റാസ്റ്റിക് പ്രോഗ്രാമാണ്.
Because you are not only the leaders of tomorrow, but rather you are the leaders of today.
There is great enthusiasm amongst the students, amongst the delegates.
I believe that we can build a strong and powerful generation ahead.
MUN was very professional.
I'm happy when they're happy because this is a conference for them.
Because they have to write, they have to speak in public, so I love seeing them.
In my previous assignments, I have served in India's permanent mission to the UN in Geneva from 2005 to 2008.
I would like to congratulate and thank the organizers of the event, which intends to bring the young brains to the endeavors of building and developing of the future of our unique planet.
These conferences give students to research topics for a country, and they can come up with their ideas and they can speak up with the public.
I, Neetu Andrews Meachlith, head girl of Indian School Algobra, am delighted to welcome you to the first virtual conference of E.A.MUNC.
I draw great hope from seeing your generation mobilize to address the challenges of our time and to build a healthier, more equitable and sustainable future for all.
The reforms of UN and multilateral system in general has been identified as a top priority for India.
In a few years' time, I would see a few of you at least in one of these diplomatic positions. And we would be extremely pleased if you could see one of you as an ambassador of India or any of your country which you represent.
I must talk about my own association with Minister E.A.MUNC. Interestingly, we met at a UN conference. It was in Copenhagen. It was called the UN Social Summit. So I'm really, really happy to be associated with this endeavor to keep his memory alive.
I declare the E.A.MUNC Model United Nations Sessions Conference in session.
Thank you, sir.
When we decided to hold the E.A.MUNC 2020 virtually, it was a big challenge because this was totally uncharted territory. However, a team of very committed students and some very fantastic colleagues put this entire program together, And therefore, today we are holding a very successful E.A.MUNC 2020.
I encourage you to take the new insights found at E.A.MUNC and put them to good use at home in a way that can benefit people at the local, national, or even international level.
Delegates, forced labor is one topic that puts a full stop on the safe life of a child before he or she is born.
Whatever part of Vienna we just finished, I will keep those points.
Organ trafficking is a global illicit trade which is often lesser discussed form of human trafficking among anti-human trafficking stakeholders.
Any delegate wishing to ask questions may raise their hand now. Delegate of Vietnam, do you wish to answer the point of information?
According to the CAR, Chad is alleged in working along with Nigeria.
432 students from 47 schools from 10 different countries has participated in the 5th edition of E.A.MUNC Model United Nations Conference. I hope you have made new friends. These are special times. In these special times, a small help which you can do to the humanity can be considered as a big for the person who needs it. So go out and help the humanity.
We are honored to have the President of Indian School Al-Gubra, Mr. Ahmed Rais, as the Chairman of E.A.MUNC Model United Nations Conference. An entrepreneur, educationist, and true administrator, he was actively involved in the setting up of many ventures which have grown to be large companies now. He is also the founding member of Aviators. I request Mr. Ahmed Rais, the Chairman of E.A.MUNC, to address the gathering.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings to all of you. We are really honored to have you all with us today to start the 6th edition of E.A.MUNC Model United Nations Conference. We are honored with presence of so many luminaries with us. And if I start naming all of them, I would not be able to, I will have to do it the whole evening. So we would like to, but at the same time, I would like to make a few mention. Mr. C.P. Kunji Muhammad, who is one of a very important person who has helped us set up the Indian edition of E.A.MUNC, Mr. Virmani, a former president of this school, and many others. We welcome you all, sir. The intention of E.A.MUNC Model United Conference is to ensure that our child takes up the leadership and comes into the leadership position when they come out of their school and when they work towards their life. We feel that every child is a success by himself. We only request them is to have appreciate the gift they have got and have the feeling of giving it to the generations of people who deserves it. The leadership quality which you imbibe will take you to the next level. We thank you all for joining us, and we hope that you will take something with you when you go back. Yes, this is digital, and this is truly international. As I was saying earlier, that we have people, most of us are based out of Oman, but end of the day, there are few people who are in Dubai and India trying to put the conference together. Apart from them, we have people from all over the world attending this conference as delegates. So we wish you all the very best, and we hope you will be able to take something with you which will help you in life. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your thoughtful and inspiring words, sir. They will serve as beacons of light that will guide us during the conference and our future endeavors. Up next is a video presentation giving us an overview of the committee topics of the second virtual E.A.MUNC Model United Nations Conference 2021. Our guest of honor and keynote speaker this afternoon, Dr. Baby Sam Samuel, is a business designer, organization mentor, and social impact leader. He is committed to the cause of the creation of a knowledge-based society through education and upskilling. He has served as the chairman of the board of directors to Indian schools in Oman. May I now request the guest of honor, Dr. Baby Sam Samuel, to address the gathering.
How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world. Said by not by any wise old man, but by the deeply thoughtful and compassionate 13-year-old Anne Frank, while hiding from the Nazis during the Second World War. Chief guest of this afternoon, Mahyuddin Muhammad Ali, Ahmed Reis, the president of the School Management Committee, Indian School Al Gubra, Principal, Ms. Patri Ghosh, esteemed delegates, dear students, faculty members, parents, guests, good afternoon. I feel it an immense honor and privilege to be here today, especially to be amidst all of you children, our future leaders and change makers, in an event that also commemorates Sri E.A.MUNC, the former Union Minister of India, who had been himself a remarkable leader and has left an indelible imprint on India's political landscape as a parliamentarian, public servant, and the voice of India at UN for several years. All of us possess an infinite potential and freedom to grow and improve ourselves and the world around us. And truly, as Anne Frank says, we need not wait a single moment. The last 1.5 years have brought out so many instances of individuals leading changes with goodwill and support, with people old and young deciding that now, this moment is my changing point. I cannot for a minute longer ignore what I see and what I feel. I must act, and I must act now. We have seen school children raising money to bring in ventilators and oxygen cylinders for the sick. Teens fighting hand in hand with their governments to counter conspiracy theories and fake news online. Teachers moving heaven and earth to offer learning materials to their students who are cut off from access to education. Housewives preparing thousands of food parcels to distribute among the homeless and hungry. And the almost 100-year-old Captain Sir Tom Moore, who raised close to 33 million pounds for NHS charities by walking around his garden. So many such instances of hope and fellowship. So age has been no barrier. Money has been no barrier. Privilege or lack of it has been no barrier. All it has taken, and all it takes, is an active, open mind that thinks beyond the immediate needs of the self. And right now, the world needs as many people to pitch in as possible. As one world, we are not just fighting against the COVID pandemic, but also the pandemics of hunger, poverty, apathy, corruption, inequality, climate change, and more. And you're no doubt aware that most countries are still struggling to make progress on their SDGs, the 17 Sustainable Development Goals launched by the United Nations in the year 2015, aiming to end poverty, reduce inequality, and protect our planet. These global goals are urgent call for action by all countries, whether developed or developing, to solve the wicked problems around us. Now, a problem becomes a wicked problem when it is a complex social or cultural problem that may seem difficult or almost impossible to solve for various reasons. So such a problem is usually tough to describe, may have innumerable causes, and would not have a single easy or right answer. And most of such complex issues around the world are now so intricately connected to a trail of others that if you try to address a part of one problem, it may cause unexpected consequences in another. Nevertheless, we must attempt to resolve these long-standing complexities. Now, how can we do that? First, by understanding the root cause. Start by asking the right question. And often the right question is just one word, why? Keep asking why until you arrive at the root cause. We need to fix real underlying problems instead of just superficial symptoms. Second, by seeking holistic answers. If we take a look at our past as countries, as policymakers, communities, and individuals, our actions have been, for a large, reactionary. It is now time to stop reacting and start responding with clarity and with purpose, with a holistic view that includes not just the betterment of all humans, but betterment of the earth as one planet hosting millions of species. And third is through collaboration. We need to involve all stakeholders and communicate and collaborate and bring about a collective approach, engaging the leaders and the public, the young and old, the wealthy and the poor, all coming together across generations, continents, boundaries, to create a new and a better world. You, dear children, as a member of the modern United Nations, each one of you have taken the first step towards a global solution. Yet at the same time, I would say Your first and the biggest duty is towards your own self. Find your path to your personal happiness, fulfillment, and purpose, and you shall no doubt find your way of impacting the entire world itself. The American psychologist Abraham Maslow once said, this is one of the best definitions that I've come across about life. Our life is about becoming more and more what one is, to become everything that one is capable of becoming. In simple terms, we must all become the best of what we can be. Every day, keep asking yourself, am I the best version of me? How can I be better? And to do that, there is a model of well-being developed by the prominent psychologist, Dr. Martin Seligman, considered as a father of positive psychology. Seligman, in his book Flourish, describes the PERMA model, which includes 5 building blocks that enable one to flourish in life. P in PERMA means, or it stands for positive emotions. What are the positive emotions? These are all emotions that makes us feel good: love, hope, gratitude, inspiration, joy, optimism, peace, pleasure, and the likes. Research shows that we do our best when we experience at least 3 times as many positive emotions as negative. E is for engagement. This is also called a state of flow. It is a process of being fully engaged and immersed in an activities or of experience, utilizing your skills, strength, and attention for a challenging task. Could be a good conversation, or when you're engrossed deeply and happily in a work. Anything, but anything that utilizes your skills at a sufficiently challenging level. R is for relationship, positive, meaningful connections with family and community. Children, we need each other. We need the comforts of family and friendships, not only to survive, but also to grow. Be there for your friends, for your family, for everyone who needs a helping hand. M in PERMA stands for meaning. One of the biggest factors of a fulfilling life is the meaning that we find in our activities. So find your purpose and meaning, and may your first and foremost purpose be to find the purpose. The last building block, A, is for achievement or accomplishment. Achievement is not just about a strong sense of success or winning. It also refers to how much we challenge ourselves in positive and progressive ways. Approach learning as a lifelong process rather than an annual passage of time. So together, PERMA can be the foundation and building blocks for you to find a purposeful and happy life that includes the well-being of everyone around you. Now, while passion is about I and me, purpose is about us and we. And when passion is aligned with purpose, it creates impact, it creates value. Let me conclude. Recently, I have had the chance to be a part of a discussion on the book called The Redesign the World, a Global Call to Action by Dr. Sam Pitroda. As the book implores, the world is in dire need of a new order, a new design, one that is inclusive and sustainable, one that protects and nourishes Mother Earth, one that moves away from the economics of GDP to the maximization of human potential. COVID has exposed, increased, and amplified systemic inequities and inequalities. But along with the trail of destruction and disruption it leaves, it also offers the world the perfect time for resetting our behavior, our actions, and offer countries, and indeed all of us, the need and opportunity to revisit the old way of doing things and creating new procedures and processes. And of course, from time to time, you may feel that you are just one person, one teenager. But then think of Anne Frank, think of Malala Yousafzai, think of Greta Thunberg. You can and you must. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Your inspiring speech has impelled us to be the change makers we can be. It will undoubtedly motivate us to do our best during the conference. The students of Indian School Al Gubra will now present a cover of the song Tell Me Why.
Children sing a song of love for every boy and girl. The sky is blue, the fields are green, and laughter is the language of the world. There's a ring in all I see. Is a world full of people in need. Tell me why does it have to be like this? Tell me why is there something I have missed? Tell me why 'cause I don't understand when someone needs somebody. We don't give a helping hand. Tell me why. Every day I ask myself, what would I have to do to be a man? Do I have to stand and fight to prove to everybody who I am? Is this what my life is for? To waste it, a world full of war. Tell me why does it have to be like this? Tell me why is there something I have missed? Tell me why 'cause I don't understand when somebody needs somebody. We don't give a helping hand. Tell me why. Tell me why. Tell me why. Just tell me why. Tell me why does it have to be like this? Tell me why. Is there something I have missed? Tell me why. 'Cause I don't understand when somebody needs somebody. You don't give a helping hand. Tell me why. Tell me why. Tell me why. 'Cause sometimes when we let the forest burn, why do we say we can't? Tell me why. Tell me why. 'Cause sometimes when we let the ocean down, if we're all the same, tell me why do we pass the day? Tell me why does it never end? 'Cause sometimes when we cannot trust the friends, why do we close our eyes? Why do the greedy lie? Why do we fight for land? Can someone tell us why? 'Cause we don't understand.
May I now request our chief guest, Mr. Mohiuddin Mohammed Ali to declare the second virtual E.A.MUNC Model United Nations Conference in session.
I declare the second virtual E.A.MUNC Model United Nations Conference in session.
Thank you, sir. With this, we have come to the end of the opening ceremony. We would like to express our gratitude to the Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Mohiuddin Mohammed Ali, Guest of Honor, Dr. Baby Sam Samuel, Mr. Ahmed Rais, Chairman of E.A.MUNC, and the esteemed dignitaries present here for taking time off their busy schedule to be with us. The delegates are requested to join their respective virtual committee meetings immediately. Wishing all the delegates a fruitful conference. Thank you and have a nice day.